Hey there, Carson Heady. Today I'm here to talk about how to construct the best year of your career. Creation of an award winning year takes some planning, takes being very intentional about the relationships that you need to create and the resources that you're going to need to win. I'm a big believer in people and process, and those are key, but you have to build the foundation. You also have to be a student of whatever game you're playing. I've been in sales for the majority of my career and know a lot of folks in the sales game. Being a student is more important than being a good seller. Big sales, excellent sales. Um, Sales excellence is not about these big deals. It's about understanding the playing field. Proactively creating the relationships both within your organization and your line of vision, partners, vendors, etc., and externally, with customers that you're going to need. Arriving with unique perspective, not just showing up and dumping off a litany of things that you or your organization can do, but also obsessing over and doubling down on people and process. I like to say before you feast, you have to set the table. And there is some foundational work that has to be done. You need to map out the variables of the playing field. If you're in a sales environment, as an example, or any role where you've got KPIs, key performance indicators, it's knowing what are these data points? What are these outcomes that you're trying to drive? What's the impact that you're trying to have? When you look back on this year in December, what do you want to have achieved? And do you have the relationships that you need to do that? Because if you don't, those are the relationships you need to go get. If you have them, those are the relationships that you need to nurture. I'm also a big believer, too, in plugging into your leadership. What are they trying to achieve this year? What is a win for them? Because in order for you to win, you need to go out and you need to figure out what is a win to everyone you touch in your sphere of influence. How can you deliver wins for them? You will win by proxy. I've never worried about results a day in my life. I've always focused on the people, delivering wins for them, caring about what matters to them, and the process. The process evolves, it changes, it is tweaked over time. But data and statistics and results, these are merely things that might showcase gaps in process that you can go back and address and make that a part of your process. So don't be reactive to those data points. Put the framework in place for success in your role. And it all starts too with your leadership. Communicate to them that this is going to be an award-winning year. This is going to be a great year. I think that's of utmost importance. To put the framework in place for success in your role, build out a grid that shows where you are, where you need to be. This is going to illuminate some of the gaps that may exist, the relationships that you need. Think about your role as well from the lens of impact and outcomes, and not just the people that you touch or just your immediate circle of influence, but think about the broad impact that you can have, how you can replicate your unique superpowers to equate to wins for other people. Often it takes literally no food off the table for you if you share your best practices, and vice versa. Go out and find the people that are great, especially the ones that are great at things that you're not so great at. Learn from them, learn how to assimilate what they're great at into your process, into your arsenal. Be very intentional about what impact do you want to have and what outcomes do you want to drive this year and beyond, both with your customers and with internally. Maybe you're looking to get promoted. Well, in order to do that, you have to become the obvious choice for that promotion. You've got to make sure that you're parlaying your successes into the successes of others, that you're assuming the position, that you're stretching beyond your role. And sometimes even when you're the obvious choice, you still don't get it. So you've got to make sure that you are developing relationships. Relationships are what will ultimately pull you, most likely, into the next thing you're doing. They often say you're interviewing for your next role today. So always make sure that you're doing those things and think about what you can focus on, what you can control. I'm a big believer in controlling the controllables. We can control the quality of our presentation, of outreach, of our product, of our effort. We can control the quantity, the number of times, the number of at-bats, the times that we do outreach, or the times that we try to create these relationships, the quantity of relationships. We also control the consistency of our efforts and our execution over time. These are things that we want to be very intentional about. Furthermore, be intentional about growth and learning. Remember, you want to think about, in December of this year, what do you want to look back and have achieved or be known for? What's your brand? What's your superpower? What do you want to be known for with everyone you touch or influence? Determine how you can parlay your unique superpowers and strengths into wins for other people. Look at your activities or your projects through the lens of maximizing that impact, replicating best practices, both of yourselves and others. Like I said, I always want to know who's the best. And so I'm going out and trying to create those relationships. But something that I've really realized the value of is having those mentorship type relationships, both being mentored, finding people that are very strong at something that I want to be strong at, or even finding relationships where I'm mentoring. And I always learn in these situations. That's the beauty. Go into every single relationship with that growth mindset of knowing that you will and can learn. The other thing is track progress. Keep a journal. I keep a journal, and it's not cumbersome. It might be a bullet point a week that I make of something that I did, or a conversation that I had, or an area where I had some impact. Because the better you can articulate these types of things, whether you're going to articulate it in a job interview, on a career walking deck, or even just in a conversation with your boss or on an appraisal, you need to be able to articulate the impact that you're having, the contributions you're making. These are super, super important. I talk to people all the time, and they stress to me that they have they feel challenged to brag about themselves. It's not bragging when you're able to articulate the value that you bring. Pick KPIs. Go down your list every day of, I create this list of non-negotiables every day. And those are the things that, amidst all the noise and all the chaos, those are the things that I have to get completed every single day. So make your non-negotiables list every day. Pick some KPIs. Go down your list every day and ask yourself, what do I need to do on each of these accounts or projects or priorities, and do them. That's how you move the needle. That's how you keep heading toward key milestones. Map that out, right? I mean, what's it going to take for me to get from point A to the ultimate point that I want to be at in later in the year? The last thing you want is to wake up in the fourth quarter and say, hey, I need to get this done, but I don't have the relationships or the knowledge of process in order to execute fully. So develop those daily non-negotiables and ensure progress on key milestones every day. Remember, control the controllables. That's what you can control. I'm also a big believer in saying yes to opportunities. Sometimes I probably do it too much, but we're in a relationships and resources world. And the better you know the resources at your disposal and you create and nurture meaningful relationships, the more fruitful your time, your career, your life is going to be. There's a lot of uncertainty right now, and that will always be the case. There's always uncertainty. There's ambiguity, and learning how to get more comfortable flexing that muscle, working amidst uncertain circumstances and ambiguity. It's just going to make you better, more effective, stronger. Remember, you can only control the controllables, so don't be distracted too much by things that are completely out of your control. All you can do is prepare yourself. Challenges beget opportunities to lean in with people, with customers, with people that you touch, people in your sphere of influence. And remember, you control the quality of what you put out there and the relationships that you invest in and how you double down on people. Really focus on the relationship. If we've established a relationship that's grounded in transparency and trust, first and foremost, with everyone that we touch and everyone that can help make us better, or through whom or with whom we can achieve the results we want, every challenge amidst uncertainty and ambiguity are changes and challenges that we can go through together. We can sit in them together, we can take them on together, and they become less challenging by default. So good luck, and hopefully this is helpful as you create your best year ever. All the best.